This is your brother in Christ speaking. This week's topic is a Bible study on Acts 15, verse 29. I had the opportunity to teach a small class, and this is one of the verses that came up and we passed around for a while, trying to dive deeper and deeper into the Word. Acts 15:29 says, "You are to abstain from food sacrificed to idols, from blood, from the meat of strangled animals, and from sexual immorality. You will do well to avoid these things." It's from Acts, so this is one of the writings of Paul. The part that we were really passing around was the meat sacrificed to idols. Is that still relevant in our day and age? We don't really have food that we sacrifice to idols unless you include the TV set, and then when you eat in front of the TV and you leave your food there, that being sacrificed to an idol, I guess. So to understand this, we must understand who he's addressing, and he is talking to the new church, the newfound church. It's just starting to blossom, and one of the things that was a large influence was the other religions around, and they would sacrifice food to idols. So why did Paul say abstain from this? Well, they would take it afterwards. The priests of the false religions would take the food and sell it afterwards. Just the meat that people sacrifice, because there's no point. What was it going to do? Sit there in front of a stone and rot? That'd stink. They'd take it out and they sell it afterwards for cheap. So you'd have basically Christians go to church and then afterwards, let's stop by, the temple of Baal and get the meat for the day from there. And is there anything wrong with the meat? Is it because the meat has turned foul somehow in front of the altar? No, it's just meat that was sat on a stone in front of a very large stone, and that's about it. So there's nothing wrong physically with the meat, and I don't think in this case he's addressing anything really of the spiritual nature in this context. So the question is why? Why not eat it? I mean, it's cheaper. You don't have to pay as much. I think it really comes down to not being a stumbling stone, because if you have Christians that are doing this, going to the other temples and buying the meat, and you have some new Christian who's from that religion who sees you doing that, that might cause him to have a harder time walking with Christ. Now, we are to be our brother's keeper. We are to watch over our brother, not in we're waiting for you to mess up, and as soon as you mess up, we will throw you out of this church, you son of a gun. You are of the devil if you mess up once. No. We're to watch our brothers as to take care of them, to help them, to be there when they stumble, when they have hard times, to give them a hand. And such as this, we are not to cause them to stumble, but to help them once they do. And believe me, we all stumble. We all have those moments where we trip up on something. I think this would be more relatable if, for example, if it's alcoholism. If you know one of your brothers has a problem with alcoholism, and we covered a whole thing on alcohol and drinking, if Christians can drink or if it is sin or not. But if you know your brother has a problem with alcoholism, you cannot invite him to go out to the bar with you. Even though you might really want to, and you might not be intending any harm by it. You cannot invite him to do it because he's struggling with that. You know he's having a hard time with that. We're not to give them opportunities to sin. We're to be there to help them when they do, but to walk beside them. Paul is really addressing not being a stumbling stone to your brothers by going and buying the food sacrificed to idols. To abstain from that. It's not like it's saying that it's a sin. It's not saying it's a sin. It's saying you'll do well if you avoid it, just because you won't cause your brother to stumble. There's a chance that he could have a hard time with it. So don't even do it. Just stay away from it. Be addressing every situation as, will this cause someone else to stumble? I think that's really where it comes down to. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like this video, then hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you want to support this channel. But as always, let's go ahead and pray. May the Lord guide you in all that you do. May the Lord bless everything you put your hands to. And may He make your way easier.